Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson. This is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
So tonight we'll be reviewing a movie called Deep Rising, which is released in 1998.
Yep.
So this one, we're doing this for a good reason, guys.
Yes.
One,
it's a sort of sad, yeah.
this is very sad, this moment, because at this moment, the actor for...
The main actor.
Treat Williams, he passed away
recently,
and we're doing this as a bit of a tribute to him. Even though we've already covered lots of other movies with him in the past, like The Phantom and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this one is not a bad movie, and I thought it would be best for both him and his family if we do this in an honour of him.
Yeah, in honour of him. He did a lot of theatre work as well. Yeah, he's done stage, he's done television movies, he's done TV programs, he's done feature films. He's done everything.
Yeah, he's also made an appearance in Empire Strikes Back when he was like a wee little actor when he was younger. Yeah. And even though he was mostly playing an extra, whatever,
we all do that.
We all do that, and that usually lands us to our bigger roles when we get older.
Exactly.
Anyway, so let's dive into it, shall we?
Splash. Okay, here we go. Right.
Yeah.
Produced by, here we go. I like all the stuff. Now, produced by Lawrence Mark and John Baldecchi? Whatever. Baldecchi. Now, it was written by Stephen Summers, who was also the director. Now.
Shocker.
Mm-hmm. Right. I got a whole list of people here. I don't know which way, who to leave in and who to leave out, but there's quite a big list here. I'll go through them.
I usually go.
By the way, before I get, this did not fare very well at the box office.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Maybe there's other things were out at the same time. Maybe they were over this sort of movie at that point in time in the industry. I don't know, but it's not a bad film.
Bear in mind, guys, we have not had an octopus related movie in years.
We need a bit more calamari in
there. We had alligators. We had piranhas. We had snakes.
And Godzilla's come back a couple of times.
And Godzilla has come back a couple of times. It's time to explore the
octopi in this world will stand up and be counted. How's that?
Yeah. I mean, this is the sort of thing that people have not explored yet.
Exactly.
It's like Mike said when you were talking about the old TV series, the the one about the ocean one.
Voyage of the Sea?
Yeah. The one about where we're exploring uncharted territory that has not even been treaded for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, we have not experienced real octopuses except for the
little
ones. One of the King Kong stuff we've often watched
I think
about.
Disney made Disney 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah, we've done that, and that was many years ago.
There's an octopus in that one, and there was one I think a giant squid or something or other. Versus a shark or something rather than a horror movie.
And I remember there was a clash of the Titans sort of type one.
Oh, no one like the Lost City of Atlantis type thing.
Yeah,
where
Lost of Atlantis type one.
Octopus guarding the gateway. That was back in the 60s, I think. Yeah, so they don't get equal airtime. It's not fair.
It isn't unfair. Considering the fact
these minority groups should be represented in the film.
Yeah, consider we've had so many supernatural creatures. We just haven't explored that particular one that goes beyond our imagination. We're all about the sci-fi aliens from outer space, but we keep forgetting the creatures below.
And we're even that
in the water
from outer space, that was very good.
Because we have a lot of creatures we have not even seen in the darkest depths of the ocean.
We don't want to if they're this big.
And if they are as big as this, the Earth is doomed if we don't discover this sort of thing.
Oh. Anyway, here we go. It cost about $45 million to make it. only made about 11 mil at the box office. Now, having said that, it has hit the home media system over the years, and it's probably recouped its money. There is a bit of a cult following on this as well because people do like the movie.
People like cult following movies. Yeah. I mean, give it a little bit of a chance, you get an audience.
Okay, here we go. A couple of people. Let's just clear my voice. Okay, right. Famke. Is that right way? I've always wondered how to say her name properly. Famke Johansson plays Trillian St. James. She's the female lead, obviously.
She's very pretty.
Yeah, very nice. Treat Williams plays John Finnegan. He's sort of like a boat captain who's been chartered to take these naughty guys out to another boat.
His character reminds me of Han Solo. He's a smuggler who's told no questions asked, just do your job. Yeah, exactly. And even someone in the scene said, "Is that your boat? That's a piece of junk." It sounds just like Star Wars. Star Wars, Millennium Falcon, whatever.
The Kessel's rung in 9 parsecs.
I don't even understand why people make fun of Millennium Falcon. Millennium Falcon looks so cool.
It looked like bucket balls. Had a bit of scarring on it, a bit of rust and stuff. Anyway, can I go through the actors?
Go ahead, Mike.
Anthony Herald plays Simon Canton. Kevin O'Connor plays Joey Pentucci.
He's not too bad. He's the comedy relief.
Now, here's one. I saw this face. Wes Studi played Hanover. He's the lead of the Naughty Guys. Mm-hmm. Derek O'Connor plays Captain Atherton. Now, he's sort of he's working on a boat that they're going to try board. I won't say anything else.
No, he's actually the guy who's the captain of the ship.
I just said that the boat they're going to board. I just said the big one.
That's what I mean.
That's what I just said.
Oh.
The boat that they were going to board. I'm not going to tell the story.
Captain of the ship.
The big ocean liner they were going to board. Okay? Yeah, that one.
Right.
Okay, fine. Jason Fleming. Is that the... What's his little boy? Jason Fleming?
Possible.
Yeah. You got Fleming. That's the way he spells his name, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. Plays Mulligan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ian Fleming's little boy, maybe.
Who
else? There's a few other people here. I won't go through all of them. I'll go through another 3 or 4. Clifton Powell plays Mason. This is part of the group of guys who are naughty guys.
Yeah.
Cliff Curtis plays Mamuli. Trevor Goddard plays T. Ray. Yeah, okay, stop it.
No, I just think it's funny.
And Jamon Honshu plays Vivio. Now, that's about it. I'm not going to go for anybody else here, okay? But it's just running out of who's this guy? Who's that guy?
Yeah, well, I'm going to concentrate on the main ones. The main ones more. Anyway,
I just wanted to give the guys a bit of credit because they actually made the story pretty good.
Considering that there's some interesting ones. You recognise them on the spot from previous movies you may have seen.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the one of them who has been in the Jason Scott's Jungle Book, and he was also in Young Indiana Jones, from Chronicles years ago.
Who's this one?
Oh, he's the I think he was an English type actor.
Yeah.
He was young, obviously. Youngish in this one, considering this is back in the 90s. Anyway, so I might dive into.
Well, you might as well dive in. I've got nothing more to say at this juncture.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway,
once upon a time,
we cross over to before we get to that, we get some a detailed description about how deep in the depths of the ocean there is a lot of creatures that are in the dark parts of the China seas.
You think it's a bit like it's going to be a documentary, but no.
Yeah, they say a lot of boats have gone these uncharted waters and never come back.
And the deeper you go, the bigger the creatures get. It's hinting at something here, folks.
Hint. Ha ha ha. So anyway, we then cross over to a boat, a big ocean liner that's run by this guy named Simon, who's a very wealthy man, and he's celebrating with a bunch of his wealthy guests, I think. And one of the guests turns out to be a thief who's there to steal the jewelry in their vaults.
Yes, why not?
Why not? Mm. Anyway, we cross over to Mr. John, I think his name is. John, who's chartering a boat. He's
a charter operator.
Yeah, he charters his boat through the China borders. Yes. Yeah, and we are left in the dark about what's their game.
Yeah, Mr. Hanover doesn't tell John what he's going. I want you to take me to this area here.
Yeah.
And he says no questions asked. Okay, that's it.
John is all about the don't ask questions and give me the money.
Yeah.
That's his motto in this movie.
Give me the money. Yeah.
And he has his he's the guy a little guy who helps him operate the boats,
the mechanic
guy named Joe, who's a bit of the comedy relief in this production.
Funny.
And his girlfriend, whom I don't remember her name.
Can't remember. She drops off the perch pretty quick.
Yeah. Anyway, they soon arrive there, and Joe discovers torpedoes in there that are in. I think that they were left. I think John was probably only a thought that they were probably going to bury some. Probably throw some dead bodies overboard, and that's why I think that's why they assumed that there was coffins on board of their boat.
I didn't know. When I first saw it, I thought coffins, but they're actually big cases to hold torpedo type things in. So they're just big aluminium type cases.
If they were smuggled on board, which they were, I think that I
think the captain would have known
Hangover probably explained to him that these boxes were filled with their old deceased mates, and they wanted to do a proper burial at sea, maybe, whatever they call it.
And it's never actually explained that bit yet.
I don't know if people still do burials at sea. I mean, except for the odd ash throwing into the ocean.
Back in the olden days, when you had sailing ships, you had to get rid of the bodies because you're going to be out there for a couple of months maybe, and they get a bit smelly, and you get disease on the boat and stuff, so they get rid of them. Nowadays, big ocean liners have actually got refrigerators and stuff, freezers and stuff like that.
Well, in this case, it's a small boat anyway. Anyway, Joey discovers the torpedoes inside the coffins, and then the men, Hangover's men, discover him, and they beat the snot out of the guy. And, of course, John finds out about this, and he attempts to try to stop them from beating him up. But they try to shoot him, they aim their guns at him, but if they shoot him, they won't have anyone to drive them to their final destination, technically, right, Mike?
Apparently so, yes.
So they're in an impasse. If they shoot him, they lose their driver, and no one's going to be driving the boat.
So they say they agree to disagree, and they down their weapons of mass destruction, and they just go forward with the story.
Yes. So anyway, we get to the spot in question, and they actually use a special computer that allows to jam the ocean liner's computers on board.
No, you're missing out. There was a guy on the big ocean liner who changed the CDs in the computer, which actually closed down the ocean liner's computers.
I should mention there was a sort of a mole on board.
And we won't say who it is because it's the guy you least expect.
Yeah. Then we see that, but they do notice one of the captain's crew notices something that's they can't identify. We think at first it was probably the little mini boat, but it's actually something big.
And it's coming from down deep in the water and coming up very fast.
Yeah, it comes really fast and soon shoots right into the boat, shakes it, and then the passengers start to panic and start making their way to the deck where the lifeboats are. A couple of the people start scattering. One of the passengers goes into the toilet probably to dump some...
when you gotta go,
you gotta go.
A good line, that, hey.
And we then hear a rumble, and then something comes out through a toilet and sucks her down into the toilet. I always say, be careful how you sit.
Airplane.
I always said this in the past. Be careful where you sit in a toilet. You never know.
Don't make a vacuum seal either.
Anyway, soon enough, the small boat arrives, and they start making plans of going on board. Of course, their boat is damaged because they kind of crashed into another boat.
One of the lifeboats fell off the big boat, and they didn't see it because their radar wasn't working very good.
Yeah.
And they went over it and they damaged their boat a bit.
Yeah, so...
Silly boys.
Yeah, they then explained that they need to make the repairs to the boat and all that stuff in order to get to where they need to go. Of course, these guys, they don't play by the rules by allowing them to make the repairs, so they let the lady stay on board the boat to make the repairs. Even though the water's leaking to the boat, really could be at this pace, we'll probably be sinking the boat anytime soon in the near future. Anyway, so she's left on board while John and Joe have to go with the mercenaries. Yeah, I'm going to call them mercenaries.
Well, mercenaries, yeah.
And they head onto the boat. And they go into the main dining room and they start, using their guns saying, "Hold it, this is a hold up."
There's nobody there.
There's nobody there.
Oops.
It's like a total mess.
A ghost town on a boat.
Yeah, they started exploring the boat, trying to find any people, but of course they eventually I should mention the stowaway, the lady who was the pickpocketer. She was actually discovered near the vault, and she's actually forced into the galley.
Before all the thing happened, she was found to be stealing stuff, so they locked her up in the galley area,
galley,
a food storage area, and we'll let you out later on when we get to a port. And the thing is that when all the crap happened, she was the only one protected.
Yeah, she eventually runs into them, and I think she meets them in an elevator, and she gets smitten by John. He kind of likes her.
Smitten?
I think, yeah, well, he's kind of cute.
Smith.
Well, before he passed away, he was really a good-looking man. And I think if he's up there now, he's probably smiling and saying, "Thanks."
Probably. If he's that good, maybe he doesn't care. He's got all his friends up there. Yeah,
anyway, so he seems to be interested. Anyway, they get onto the elevator, and then things start going pear-shaped, start shaking, and the elevator's going up and down in a funny way. But eventually, they do get off it, and they start, making their way throughout the ship. Just so you guys know, slowly, bit by bit, scene by scene, some of the mercenaries get killed or disappear. And of course, at first they blame.
Nobody knows how.
At first they blame John because John was witness to these people disappearing.
Well, you've got to blame somebody. Yeah.
They do eventually find Simon and the captain. What's-he-face, obviously.
Not what's-he-face.
And they explain that some weird creature is roaming the ship, or creatures, they say.
Yeah.
Because
I get that, eh?
Yeah.
That'd make a good horror movie.
And just so you guys know, we see these tentacles, and they have mouths on the end of their tentacles.
Really cool.
They look really creepy. It's not like your ordinary octopi, as I said.
Yeah. Octopi only have
one mouth.
That's in the middle somewhere. Yeah.
That's a bit strange. I mean, anyway, they do find. Simon says, I don't know why he gets this information. I don't know why he's the brains in this movie, where he says, this octopi doesn't eat you exactly. They kind of just suck the marrow juices out of your body and leave you a living skeleton. Or not living a skeleton. You're rotting.
A little bit dehydrated, in need of a drink.
Yeah, they do discover the bodies, and they're a little taken aback by them. They were expecting to see them scattered all over the place, but it's actually a few here and there. Well, not a few here and there, just a few. They just find them in certain areas. I don't know why. Anyway, they soon try to escape these creatures, or creature, I should say, and eventually, let me see. They do eventually try to. This reminds me of a little bit of the Poseidon Adventure meets, I don't know what other movie I could think of, but it makes me think of the Poseidon Adventure where they're trying to go up different parts of the boat to try to avoid the creature or try to get away.
Yeah. Meanwhile, getting killed off one by one.
Yeah.
Or two by two.
Yeah. Eventually the creature catches up to them, and the only ones that remain are, let me see, will be Simon, John, Joe, the stowaway lady who suddenly changed clothes. She wore a red dress, and now she wore some tomboy kind of clothes.
Yeah, see, this nice red evening dress wasn't practical for running around evading the octopus.
Yeah. And let me see, and Hanover, who are the remaining ones.
Yeah, his guys are all gone by now, are they?
Yeah, by the sounds of it. At first they were inside one of the areas where one of the galleys, I think, was. They said that he thought they would be safe there. They had food and no doubt
the cruise galley.
No doubt help will arrive. But I think John says something really symbolic in the scene. He says how there was this fish in a bottle, and an octopus grabs this bottle, and it suddenly squeezes its tentacle inside the bottle and got the little fish. And in short, they're the little fish
in the bottle.
So even if they stay there, that's a death sentence. It's just like what I said, like Ben said in Night of the Living Dead. The house is a trap, or
pretty much.
Yes.
So,
or the basement is a trap.
Yeah, because there's only one way in and one way out. That's it. That gets blocked off, you're stuck.
Exactly.
Aha.
Yeah, but they eventually leave that idea and decide to continue with their journey. They eventually get lured into another part of the boat where it's sort of I don't know which part, considering this is the part of the boat where there's a lot of dead bodies scattered, indicating...
they're just amassed by the creature,
Yeah. And then we see... we hear a rumble, and then a lot of tentacles start shooting out and try to chase down our survivors. Of course, they begin to scatter, and Hangover gets eaten and drained by the creatures, obviously. And then, so we're left with Simon kind of disappears. I think he's trying his hardest to find his own way off the boat.
He didn't care for anybody else except just a greedy man. Actually, I can say at this point in time, he was the owner who financed the building of this wonderful luxury ocean liner.
Yes.
But his idea was, I think, he had all in mind to scuttle the ship with the help of these mercenaries to sink the boat so he can claim the insurance money.
So Hangover and his men, if they were alive, would have stolen the goods, like the jewelry from the vault. They'd be paid that way. And
Simon would get his insurance money.
Yes.
Oh, isn't that lovely? What a good business plan.
Yeah. Anyway, soon enough, John and the lady, they head to the boat and they make... Oh yeah, and Joe eventually arrives there too, and they start making plans of using the missiles to try to destroy the big ocean liner along with anything else. And while our leading lady heads inside the boat to get a sort of key to the little teeny weeny boats, the ocean
like jet skis.
Jet ski.
Yeah. There's some jet skis there because there was a little island nearby. They're going to use the jet skis to get to the island.
Yeah, Simon chases her down, but luckily enough, John appears and fights him off and saves her, of course. And when he heads back to the boat, he thinks Joe's still there, but we don't see him anywhere. We assume he's dead.
Oh, poor Joe.
Of course,
he's a nice man.
Of course, he gets a little sad because that was his only friend and all that stuff. Anyway, he then gets onto the jet ski with our leading lady, and they make their way throughout the boat, being chased down by this octopus thing, while Simon tries to get on board his boat, and he breaks his leg.
He jumped down from one of the decks, and he's been high up, and he broke his leg on the fall. However,
he crawls towards the
control,
but unfortunately, it's on autopilot.
And it kickstarts.
Yes,
it must have been already programmed to start.
Yeah, he tries to. I don't actually count. I consider at this point Simon's not a boat driver.
Well, he could have. Maybe, but he couldn't get it off autopilot.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And it started to pull away from the big boat, and he thought, "Oh, good, I'm getting away from here."
No,
but
on the contrary, folks, he's going to turn right over to the boat and smash right into it.
John had actually programmed to do a big wide loop and to go back and smash into the big ocean liner with a couple of these torpedoes stuck out the front of the boat, a little bit like African Queen, and sink the big boat.
Meanwhile, John and the lady, they continue throughout the bows of the boat, and while the tentacles chase after them, and soon enough the boat is about to ignite and explode, and eventually they end up escaping out through the hatch, and eventually they head towards the island.
Yeah. Now, meanwhile, Simon is on the boat, and he realises it's going to head back and hit the big boat, and it goes
kaboom.
And all this calamari all over the place.
Yeah, all I can say at this point in time, bye insurance money. Simon's not going to get any.
There would have been insurance money.
No duh.
But he would have got it. His beneficiaries would have got it.
True.
See what a good provider he is. Oh, wow. What a man.
Soon enough, John and the lady, they arrive on the island. They run out of petrol on the jet ski, so they're stranded at this point. But they eventually run into Joe, who was on a sort of surfboard or makeshift.
You're floating on a surf. No, a surfboard. It was actually a surfboard. It was John's surfboard that fell off the boat when the boat was being attacked by a squid or something rather, or something happened, and he got off the boat and
he was able to swim away as fast as he could. Yeah, and eventually he tells them, and he remarks, "Were you kissing?"
I'll go for a little walk and wait. No, yeah. And then at the end, three of them are going to live happily ever after. Just like Jurassic Bloody Park.
And we see, do a wide shot of the island.
And you see something, the trees moving.
And we see a volcano, which looks like it's about to erupt. So this is where John's...
And the trees were moving, like there was something huge walking through the trees.
Then then I think it's either John or Joe say, "Now what?" Then we cut to the credits and fade out.
It was really good. So it had a good ending.
I gotta admit, that was one of the better twist endings I did see in movie history.
It's fun. Yeah. Out of the frying pan into the fire.
Yeah, meaning the calamari octopus is just the entree, while this next creature will be the main course.
It's a bit like surf and turf. You get the seafood already, and now you got to get the meat eaters.
Exactly. Right, so I don't see what's wrong with this movie because I think it's pretty cool.
It does stretch the imagination just a little bit in some areas.
Yeah.
I keep saying reality is the spice of life in a movie. If it doesn't feel real, people get bored. This squid octopi thing, octopus, was chasing. The tentacles were moving down the corridors and through the boat. Really, really good, which that's fine. But they still have to be connected to the main octopus.
True.
And they couldn't go through all these things if they're all connected to the main octopus.
That's true.
However,
bear in mind,
when you suspend your disbelief a bit, it's a fun movie.
But bear in mind, guys, they said in one scene, Joe remarks that this is a mutated version of an octopus. So who knows how much...
Oh, the tentacles come off, do they?
So who knows how this works in this movie? Considering this creature comes from the abyss we call the deepest, darkest ocean that we don't know next to nothing about. So this is a world that's beyond anyone has ever visited. We only seen small fish, maybe a few sharks, and maybe even some animals. Other animals in the ocean we have not seen yet. I think that there are still fish out there that has not been identified yet.
I was reading some notes here.
Okay, go on. So what do they say?
No, just notes on the production.
Ah.
Some of the people who were in it weren't going to be in it initially.
I heard about that.
Harrison Ford was supposed to play the role of John Finnegan, but he turned it down. And that's another.
It's no wonder I thought that.
A couple of things went that way, and because they didn't get the big name people in there, they downsized the budget.
Ah, that makes sense.
So they couldn't actually do probably a few other things which might have actually make it a better film. But now the outside of the boat, when they're doing scenes, that was all CGI'd. But they did have some big models made for the boat in the ocean and stuff. But that's interesting.
I just don't. I mean, now I understand why I thought the John character makes me think of Han Solo's character.
Yeah, that was the same. That's why I wanted Harrison Ford to play that role, because it was like a similar sort of character.
Yeah, so that's probably exactly what the director and writer thing is, that he's both the director and the writer. He was probably gunning for Harrison Ford, but he ended up with Treat Williams.
Yeah.
Even though it's not his fault, he's got a good acting talent. And I do think he was a better choice. Anyway, go on.
He did pretty good. When it was actually released, it took off pretty fast, but died pretty fast in the box office.
Damn.
No, I think that a couple of things. The people didn't tell their friends to go and see the movie.
Yeah.
There could have been other good movies on at the same time.
That's the big problem in this movie. I mean, not this movie. I mean, I think the biggest problem is there are going to be a lot of people out there who have different tastes.
Yeah.
And no doubt it's not the fault of the movie if it was a bomb. I think it's the fact that people will always will choose something over another movie, and it's nothing to do with the fact the movie is a terrible movie. It's just audiences.
Remember that Dracula movie years and years ago? I think we might have reviewed it. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And it came out about the same time as the Hammer one came out. And the Hammer one was more popular than the other one. And
bad timing.
It's bad timing. Yeah. You just cannot do it.
Yeah. Yep. And anyway, as I was saying, Mike, the fact it was a bomb. This movie was a bomb.
It wasn't a bomb. It just didn't succeed at the box office.
Or flop, according to them.
Yeah.
It may not. It's just the fact that other movies probably at the time were probably either popular or that took interest.
And people went to see those movies instead.
Yeah, so it has nothing to do with the box office figures here and there.
No, I don't think it truly reflects the movie's quality. I mean, it wasn't the best movie in the world, but it certainly didn't warrant the rubbishing some of the critics gave it either.
Yeah, but it's like I said, Mike, there's not too many movies that deal with octopuses.
Yeah,
I mean,
octopi, not octopuses.
And we have seen movies like spiders and snakes, alligators,
spiders,
but we have not seen too many octopus-related movies out there. So I don't see a big problem. This is an uncharted territory, and it's not a big problem in my mind. Yeah. If it was an issue like there's more than one octopus movie out there, then we would be in serious trouble.
It's been done too much. Yeah.
Then we have a serious problem. Yeah. So I don't see
so much calamari you can take. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have no problem with this one, and I like the twist ending where it makes out that we're not only on a we don't have to worry about the creatures below. Yeah. We also have to worry about the creatures on this island.
Yep, start of a new movie.
Yeah.
Sequel. No.
I wish. Technically, I think if they did make a sequel, it would probably go directly to DVD or video, in my opinion.
Yeah, funny.
Anyway, go on with what you're going to say, Mike.
I won't dwell too much on the reception because I don't like some of the critics because they had their own preconceived ideas on what they like and what they don't like. Okay? Now here, Rotten Tomatoes, prime example. It gave it a score of 32%. Right?
Right.
Based on 34 reviews. Not 340 reviews, 34 reviews. Now, and it just says, its fleeting glimpses of creature feature mayhem are certainly dumb fun, but deep rising, cribbed from far too many better moves to stand on its its own. Chicago Sun-Times, Roger Ebert include the film in his most hated list.
Oh boy.
He said Abbott called the film essentially an alien clone with a fresh paint job.
Oh,
I don't think Abbott likes these, or past tense, liked these sort of movies anyway, whether it was a good movie or a bad movie. So you couldn't go by that too much. There's another guy here, actually. Here it Ty Burr, writing for Entertainment Weekly, called the film a tightly written, often howlingly funny aliens knockoff its portrayal of tough men and tougher women under pressure favourably recalls the work of Howard Hawks giving it a grade of B-, which is pretty damn good. And Bloody Disgusting wrote, excellent cast, state-of-the-art special effects, and terrific acting. This is the movie that should not be missed.
Well, at least that was one positive review.
Well, those two guys
with no buts about it.
These two guys say it's good, the other guy says it's bad. CinemaScope gave an average rating of C+ on an A to F, A+ to F scale, which is average.
In between.
Yeah, that's not too bad. And it says it's going to become a cult classic.
Yeah, what does that tell you?
Good movie. I mean, having said that.
Yeah, it's amazing that no matter how old a movie gets, it develops a fan base years later.
Well, I would say this. It came out in 1998, okay?
Right.
It released on DVD and VHS in October 1998, both of which are now out of print. Wait a minute. It was re-released as a 2-disc special edition DVD in 2007.
Right.
It was released on Blu-ray as a double feature of Puppet Masters from Milk Creek Entertainment in 2012. Now, Kino Lorber re-released the film, blah, 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 in 2018. If they keep releasing it, they'd re-release it because people actually want to see the program. Otherwise, they wouldn't waste their hard-earned money. So there you go then. That's what I think. So they wouldn't keep doing it and making it and trying to milk it if it was a dead duck.
I don't see it when in the reception. I don't see this as an alien-related movie.
No, it just says, hey, it's people here and there's a creepy crawly. Taking people out. That's it. So yeah, that's what we're saying. So now here we go. I'm going to get into product availability.
Right.
But I normally do a bit near the end. Because this is an older movie. Yes, there's going to be VHS copies out there. I'm just warning you, like I always do for these old movies. Okay? I've had a look at eBay. There's plenty new and used products. I'd go for the new one because it'd be Blu-ray. Amazon has rentables and also for sale, new and used. Again, be careful. Both sides, VHS copies are there. So if you go somewhere else, just be careful of what you're buying because you don't want to get a VHS tape and find out you don't have a VHS player. Yes? And also a Laserdisc might even be there. I didn't notice, but it could be.
Yeah, well, it just might
so
be.
be careful when you buy these old ones. There's also posters and stuff you can get. No. Right. I would suggest it's a good watch. Okay. But if you're not real sure, rent it through Amazon Prime and have a look at it. It's a good watch. It's fun. It's I
do wonder what would happen if they did put Harrison Ford. Would that increase the viewership?
If they brought some bigger names in there at that time, they might have put a bit more money into it, so they could have actually made a slightly better film out of it. And having the draw card names on it would have had more bumps on seats.
Right.
That's how it goes.
I don't mind the big names, the big wigs,
well,
but I like it when it's an unknown person that you don't see too much in
and
movies.
That's the whole point.
And it will give me more value to my buck by saying that this person is not into many movies, but at the same time, this will allow me to actually see him in this character. If I keep seeing the big names in a movie, I feel like, okay, there it is again, him again. This is going to be one of those action-adventure movies. And I don't see any point in watching it because it's going to be the same stuff over and over.
Considering Treat Williams, not knocking the guy, I don't think he's a really well-known actor.
Not too many.
At the time, no, he'd been in lots of things, but I think The Phantom was made a year or two earlier with Billy Zane.
Right. He did. He was.
Now, wait a minute. But Billy Zane was the main star.
True.
He played a co-star. Now, if Billy Zane was in this movie instead of him, it might have actually had a better draw card. So having a co-star out of one movie, but playing the lead role in the next movie is it doesn't have the money appeal from production cost and bums on seats.
True.
Yeah, and not knocking Treat. But I mean, that's the way the industry goes.
I thought he was pretty cool, especially the fact he's
got a nice personality.
Yeah, he has a nice smile.
Yeah. Anyway,
I don't think I like the chemistry between him and
Famke, yeah.
The comedy relief meets
and the little guy, he's also offside guy, Joe.
He's offside. It was pretty cool.
He was a fun little guy, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to grade this now.
Me too.
There were a couple of little shortcomings with, like, I think the octopus's movements were a little bit too exaggerated, but that happens sometimes in these movies. But when you put that out, you push that aside, it's still a fun movie, so you get rid of that crap. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 9.5 out of 10. I mean, it was pretty interesting, especially how they kind of modernized the whole octopus stuff. I mean,
it was a scary octopus, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, instead of just a tentacle comes out of the wall and he just grabs you and pulls you away in that kind of way.
Well, you look at something like Abyss. The Abyss, the one where that had the aliens underwater, the submarine went down.
Yeah, that's probably why they got
the point is, there wasn't any real monster in that. I just had this shape of the water going around and a few things. In some ways, that was a boring movie. In some ways, in other ways, a good movie. And this one at least had a giant octopus to play with.
It would have been cool if there was more survivors on the boat to not really survive, but somehow would have been really good benchmarks to keep rooting for them, for the survivors on the boat. Even though most of it was wealthy people who were a lot of pains in the ass.
Pain in the bum. Those arrogant types.
Yeah, but it would be nice if there were some other people, on board, like they did with the Poseidon Adventure. A mixture of different types of people.
Exactly. Yeah, a couple of good guys, a couple of bad guys, all get out. And,
when they were trying to, when they charged into the main room trying to say, everyone freeze, get your fans up, money out, yada yada, and then they see, there's not very much people here.
Put them up. Put one up where?
I thought that was kind of hilarious when they just came in there and didn't bother and didn't realize it's all quiet. There is no one in the whole corridors. There's no one there. Not even a person just walking down and just taking a stroll after dinner.
Go outside for smoke,
Stuff like that. That would have been a subtle hint that there was something wrong.
Yeah.
This boat is like a party type boat.
A bit like a ghost ship. That's a good movie to do.
Yeah, we might. Yeah. Anyway, this type of boat was meant to be a party ship.
It wasn't a party ship. It was a big ocean liner thing, and there's entertainment stuff on it. Yeah.
There was a lot of entertainment. They had.
It looked like Christmas time, wasn't it? Because it wasn't Christmas
No,
trees.
it looked like no, it didn't look like Christmas time. I think that there was
it looked like a bit of a theme to it.
Yeah, there was a Chinese theme.
Considering they're in Chinese New Year, maybe or something.
Considering this is in China, they're in Chinese waters. They have the special lion, decoration, lion dances, and the special drums. And
they could have been like Chinese New Year or something.
There was also a mixed theme going on there. There was some dances of other different cultures. I can't really identify, but
Expo on a boat. There you go.
But there was a mixture there that kind of gives you a different impression of what's going on here. Anyway, it's not important. So
look, I like the movie. It's a good fun watch. The special effects are pretty good.
Yeah, I thought
for 1998, you've been bearing in mind too that it's 1998 special effects.
Yeah. I just think that
now.
Guys, that if you, I just thought that this was a better approach than most octopus movies. I mean, where you see the tentacle and it just has sort of teeth on them. It's kind of a better approach than just...
That's Pacific Rim. That was the other octopus movie, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, I just think the idea of... it keeps giving the audience a little bit more extra surprises about this movie.
A tentacle comes up, drags some people off the boat. It's not quite all sinks a small boat. It's not bad, but this is good.
Because if it was... you're thinking in this movie all the time that what are these creatures? Are they octopuses or are they just long slugs with mouths on them?
Yeah.
Because that's pretty impressive, the whole sluggy creatures with mouths on them, and all the time you keep thinking, is this the creature we should fear? It's just like in Tremors where they thought those small snakes were the threat when actually they were the tongues on the big creature.
Who was underground still.
That lived under the ground. Sort of giving...
And then we got the ass blasters later on.
Sort of giving you a triple threat or third threat type of thing, keeping you...
Keeps changing.
Keeps changing and keeps you on your toes throughout the movie. All the time you think that you finally win, but all the times you're only halfway through the movie, so you're left with trying to work out, are we going to win or are we going to lose all the time? But in the end, you end up... you're at the halfway through the movie and you have not seen anything yet.
No, okay, so let's kill it. But remember, guys, if you go hunting for this, you want to buy a copy, there are VHS tapes out there. Be warned. Be warned.
Okay.
Check what you're buying before you buy it.
Mm-hmm. So that's it from us, guys. So be sure to check it out, like Mike says here, and let us know in the comments what you think of this movie. Do not let the other reviewers get in your way of you deciding what you want to watch.
Exactly right.
I mean, I know we've said in the past that to listen to us sometimes, but it's usually to make up your own mind about the movie.
We try to be fair. Even if I watch a movie that I don't particularly like, I try to find redeeming qualities in the acting, the filmography, the overall storyline. Even if I thought I mean, if Sarah wanted to watch Sarah likes teenage stuff and anime stuff, and I'll sit there and I'll watch it with her. Now, I don't particularly like it. I wouldn't go out of my way to see it, but I will watch it and I'll try to enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
And she likes to have an open mind as well.
Yeah,
so we try to be fair. We try not to be troll-like.
Yeah, bear in mind, you can always find something about a movie that you may enjoy. If it's not for everyone, you might find something that you might remotely like about it.
Yeah, look, I mean, I was talking to a guy the other day. Okay, when we were at the film shit, right? Mm-hmm. I mentioned David Lynch. He makes good movies, but I raised the film Eraserhead. I watched it several times, and it does my head in. I still don't know I know what the storyline is. I just don't know why he made it. Because to me, it wasn't a great movie, but a lot of people think it's a great movie. I can sit down there, I can watch that movie, and I can say, okay, it's got a reasonable storyline, and I can see this. I like the filmography, the acting wasn't too bad. But I would not go out of my way to watch the movie again because I don't like it.
Just like
but
you don't like the House movie?
The
Room movie?
Tommy Wiseau or Wiseau. Oh, no. Don't go there. Don't even touch on that one. No.
Well, I don't think so. Considering that it has the genres that we're looking for in this podcast.
Well, it's got its own genre. One of the worst movies ever made, yeah.
Anyway, so let's just end this now, guys, because we've already done our thoughts on this movie. So be sure to check it out and let us know in the comments what you think.
Deep Rising, 1998.
Yes.
Yep.
So this is Sarah Stephenson
and Michael
saying see you guys around on Boys and Ghouls Film Review. Bye for now.
See you later, guys.